We'll be back in a second. Hello, I'm Phil. Welcome to Pretty Good Cooking. Tonight on the show, I'm gonna teach you how to make a goat curry. Can we still do pictures of things? Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different from what I typically do when showing you how to do a recipe. And we are going to go into this. Well, okay, so let me start with some backstory. There's a YouTube channel that I really like called Village Food Factory, and basically it's like some village in India and they're just showing like their everyday cooking. Sometimes not their everyday cooking, sometimes they just make like a stupid amount of food and give it away to poor people, which is nice. But it kind of has the same process for almost every single recipe, which I think is kind of cool, seeing how they cook. So I'm gonna try to talk about what I do with ingredients as I add them to the dish, but I'm not going in with like a structured plan. So this is gonna be a little bit more creative and a little less dumb than it usually is. But it has the potential to be even more dumb in different ways. Depends on like how bad I f it up. Today I'm drinking a Yingling. I'm sure that'll make somebody happy.
Is it you?
No. Okay, well, I think it's a little bit, well, I don't know. There's definitely, okay, I will acknowledge the perception that I don't put that much planning or effort into some of the recipes I put on the show. And that, to a certain extent, in the past has been true sometimes. So, like, when I made tuna salad, I just looked up, like, Betty Crocker tuna salad, and that's what I made. So, I don't know what you were expecting. But this time I actually did quite a bit of research, and I'm trying to do that like some of the time for more complicated recipes. So some of you will appreciate that. Some of you will think that it's dumb, but everybody thinks different things are dumb. It's like the opposite of everyone's special. Everyone is dumb in their own special way. Anyways, I'm gonna start with this pot. This is a Dutch oven, and we'll get the heat just kind of at medium. And we'll start with a very unhealthy glug of oil, which is okay. It's okay to use a lot because you're making a large amount of food, so it'll all balance out. Right, so I told you all of that shit because I also pulled ingredients out ahead of time. So there's no wasted time of me looking for my goddamn oregano or my goddamn pepper, because I've already pulled those out and they're ready to go. Here in this general area, I've accumulated a wide variety of spices and herbs and whatever, the minerals, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to start by frying some of the spices, and this will season the oil in a way that actually changes the flavor, unlike salting the oil, which Cam told you to do, and I still don't know if that's a thing or not. Here I have a slightly old bag of curry leaf, which I got from the local international market. Curry leaf is weird. It smells really f***ing weird, but I think it'll taste good. And I'm not really that familiar with it, but I'm assuming frying it will be nice. So I got a couple leaves of those. Also, Daddy on Village Food Factory throws in leaves from time to time, and curry leaf is probably one of them. I'm not gonna put those in just yet. I am gonna start with hard spices. Here's anise. It's got its distinctive star shape. This is a really, really powerful spice. Kind of tastes like licorice, or licorice tastes like anise, I guess. So we'll just grab a couple pods and we'll put them right in. There they are. We'll also grab a nice fresh stick of cinnamon. Look for one with not too much chemical bullshit on it. There it is. Got a couple of cloves, about 4. There they are. These are allspice berries. Come from a pimento tree. 2 of those. Boom shakalaka. And these, I think these are cardamom seed. I don't know. I don't remember what the fuck these are, but I like them in Indian food, so I'm gonna put some in. I'm pretty sure they're cardamom seeds. Just a pinch of that. Going for it. These are fenugreek seeds. It tastes nice. From downtown. And I think I'll put some mustard seed in too. One thing to be careful though when you're adding seeds like I am is they'll start popping. Might pop right out of the pot. Pop, pop, out of the pot. What else do I got over here? These are cumin seed. You could use cumin powder if you want. I might want to do that actually. That'll be more palatable than more seeds. And our curry leaves. Oh, if it's popping too violently, just turn the oil down. But all these nice spices, I'm gonna like basically fry them for a few minutes, and we'll move on to the next step. I didn't really do a good job of telling you what all those spices do, but they work really nice in combination. So, I don't know, like,
You gotta eat.
Yeah, you gotta eat at rallies. But in all seriousness, like pretty much any combination of these seasonings will taste really nice together. It's hard to go wrong. All right, I'm gonna start working the onion. Onion's an integral part of most curries, at least the good kind. And you gotta get a really good fry on them because they'll break down and they actually texturally have a very significant impact on your final curry gravy. So we'll slice these up. It's up to you if you want to dice or slice. I've seen both. I've tried both. I think that slicing works just fine. Kind of saves you some trouble because you'll be cooking this so long that, you know, that additional eviscerating, that's not really the right word. The additional making smaller of the onions is not really going to have that much of an impact. Also, there are literally hours of cumulative footage of me struggling to dice onions on YouTube. So I think we can spare the world any more of that. But I'm gonna use a whole onion. Eyes are burning. And once we've got these going, just a little bit longer, get our onions frying up in there, and it'll be nice. Today, we're working with goat. I got some from the local international market. I didn't actually get that much. I've only got about a pound here. Probably for what we're doing, you could use a little bit more. But goat's really an interesting meat. It's very popular around the world, pretty much everywhere except America. And here, it's only popular by proxy because it's popular everywhere else. But it's really healthy, like in terms of red meat. It's like lower calories, similar protein levels, pretty low fat. It's very similar to lamb, but I think it's a little tastier. It's a little leaner too. You know, goats don't get that fat, but your mama do. Alright, so it's been like 5 minutes or so. Our curry leaves are starting to brown, cinnamon's opening up, things turning dark. Taking it easy though, it's not like we've blackened anything really. We're gonna start dropping in dry spice. And you gotta stir constantly to make sure things don't burn. Or alternatively, we could do the onions and then, I'm gonna put the onions in. Ow! Alright, onion power time. So one big ass onion. Gonna break them up. We're gonna add some more spices. This is coriander power. A little bit of that. Some cumin. If you want it to taste better, you could roast and grind some cumin. We do have time for that, but we don't have motivation for that. Lots of red pepper. We like it spicy. We'll use some garam masala. Just a little bit right now. That's a spice mix. Could be anything. I don't know what's in it. A little bit of cayenne for a different level of heat, and some curry powder. This is just regular old curry powder, nothing fancy. So, some people like to toast their spices in the oil or in the whatever before adding the onions and all that. I think it's easier to just get them on the onions. It's not gonna open the flavor in the same way, but there's so much spice action going on here, there's so much depth of flavor that, like, I don't know, I'm just trying to make like a pretty good curry. Not the best, as is tradition. And you can add some salt if you want. So those will need to fry considerably. We're talking like probably at least 10 minutes just on their own. So you can work on prepping other things in the meantime. I'm gonna chop some chilies, probably clean some okra. Got a can of Salerno Plum Italian tomatoes. These are like whole tomatoes. You can use fresh if you want, but we're gonna be stewing these a long time, so I don't really see an advantage of using fresh here. I'm gonna run a knife through them to kind of chop them up a little bit. You can also crush them with your hands if you're into that. We'll set that aside. I'm also gonna trim some okra, and I'm actually pretty intimidated by it because I'm not really cooked with okra too much. By too much, I mean at all. And I keep reading about it like getting slimy or gross. But I'm thinking like in a stew with enough tomato acid, like even if it's slimy, it'll probably just be like soft in a sauce, which I think is fine. And if not, it'll just contribute to the pretty goodness of this rather than the goodness. So I'm just gonna cut off the caps and then trim them into bite-sized pieces like that. I've read all kinds of shit about okra, like one thing was like if you remove the stems but don't pierce the body, it's less likely to get slimy. But that was it all in like the context of like soups, I guess. I don't really think it matters. I'm gonna use a pound. This is a pound, so it's quite a bit, but I think it'll be good. Alright, I want to show you where we're at. You can see our heavily spiced onions, the deeply fried, starting to break down pretty nicely. We could add more things. Here I've got a pile of Thai chilies. Jalapenos would be more conventional. but this is what I got. I also had habaneros, but wanted to make this dish edible for John, which is already, this is kind of going to be a little bit of a stretch, but we'll grow together. There they are. I'm also going to add ginger paste, which you can make using a piece of ginger and a lot of brute force, or you can buy it. So, good healthy amount of that. That's probably about a tablespoon. And I am going to use minced garlic because typically you would also use garlic paste. This is close enough. So we'll fry that up a couple minutes. Doesn't need a long time. So those are our aromatic type things. They smell amazing. And now we'll push everything to one side and add our meat. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's get that goat. This is bone-in goat meat. That will be good for the actual gravy. It'll make it a kind of a pain in the ass to eat, but that's alright. So I'll just drop it in. On that side we cleared off. Let it brown a little bit. Try to get all the pieces down in there. Yeah, I should have got more goat. It's not too much goat. Oh well. So we'll let those brown a little bit before moving on. We'll be back in a minute. Now that our goat is brown, let's add some tomatoes. Be careful pouring them in. You gotta watch out for the splash. So we're also gonna add some water because it's just too thick right now. The nice thing is that it'll cook down some, but we just need more volume to actually cook it in for now. And remember, we've got all that okra to add later, so don't go all the way up to the top of the pot. You can reuse your bucket to get every little last bit of that tomato. If it looks greasy, you're doing it right. So we will bring that to a simmer, and we will let that cook a long time because goat is kind of a hard meat to work with in that it sometimes can be very tough. You typically don't grill goat or you gotta give it time to break down. So we'll get that to a simmer. You know what a simmer looks like. If you don't by now, you need to read the Wikipedia article on simmering or just look at this GIF, which I don't know if we can put in videos anymore. Can we put GIFs in videos?
Is that a serious question?
We'll leave it partially covered. Also, everyone should look at John's cool drink. It's tricolored. Wow. So we're just gonna drink for the next lifetime. It's been approximately an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. I lost track of time. You can see in our soup here that the goat is starting to fall apart. When you press on it, it's like, well, that piece is not a good example. Other pieces are starting to fall off the bone. It's good. Now I think would be an opportune time to add our okra. We're adding it later because it doesn't need to cook as long. If it cooked a really long time, it would be weird, possibly slimy. So we're gonna put that in there, make sure that it's covered in the sauce. Put our lid back on there. Probably let that simmer about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Also a good time to make rice. You know, in the spirit of adapting every culture's food into this one particular dish, we're gonna use sushi rice, because that's what I got. But, that's fine. I'm gonna make 2 cups of that. Two cups of that, 4 cups of this. Get that cooking. Close enough, and we'll be back. With weapons. We've stewed the okra a bit. It looks cooked. Before you add the yogurt, just had a thought occur in my brain. Kind of like one of those headaches with pictures. You need to fish out some of the stuff you got in here if possible. So if you see a big spice, anise, sometimes pronounced anise, or the cinnamon, allspice, curry leaves. Just like your friends will thank you for pulling these out so they don't have to chomp on them. But if you don't get them all, fuck them. It's time to add some yogurt. This is Greek yogurt, strained. About a cup will make this nice and creamy. And use the advice that we've given you before, which is to incorporate it in Delaware for tax purposes. Look how nice and greasy that looks. Greasy! I actually think that I could probably use a little bit more yogurt. That was probably shy of a cup. Alright, and you want this to simmer just a few minutes. Just let that yogurt blend in. Doesn't have to be a real long time. It might have cooled it off enough for us to actually taste it. That'd be good. I've not really tasted this thus far. Get some of that grease. Oh, that tastes mighty fine. So from a spice level, I think it's great. A little bit hot. Really needs salt. A lot of Indian restaurants, recipes, and bloggers and stuff tell you that you don't need to salt food because every ingredient has some kind of natural amount of sodium in it. And while that may be true in some kind of context, which I don't think it is, food tastes better with salt, so you should just salt it. We'll get that. Turn the temperature up. It's almost time to eat. Pretty excited for this. Goat and okra. Goatkra. Okra goat. Okra goat. It's time to serve. What a big, rich gravy. Looks good. Gonna grab some rice, and I'm gonna scoop some goodness. And I'm gonna tell Iggy to shut his mouth. Iggy, be quiet. Good boy. There's our curry. You can garnish with cilantro if you like. I'm not sure I really care. It's gonna be way too hot to eat, but might as well, right? This goat could have cooked a little longer. I ain't got the patience though. It's just a big piece of goat to eat. Oh, that's really good. Holy cow, that's good. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Iggy, you stop it. That'll put the fear of Spice God in you. That's how you do it. Everybody enjoy. You could loosely follow this recipe and make almost anything, like a microwave pizza. Okay, bye.